You didn't end up here by accident. You weren't born into this life by chance. And no, your soul didn't simply drop into a random body on a spinning rock in space. What if I told you that everything about your life, your name, your face, your family, your traumas, your gifts, was intentionally chosen by you long before you arrived? Not the you you're familiar with, not the identity you see in the mirror, but the real you, the eternal consciousness that existed before your first breath and will continue long after your last. You are not just a person. You are a purpose in motion. Let's start where most never even look: before birth. Before you were a child, before your mother held you, before anyone gave you a name. There was a moment, a sacred meeting between your soul and the source. Call it God, call it the universe, call it the field, the light, the architect. Names don't matter. What does matter is what happened in that moment. A decision was made. You chose to come here. But why? Why would a conscious, infinite soul choose to forget who it is? To enter a body that feels pain, to face fear, rejection, suffering, and separation? Why would you volunteer for this? The answer is hidden. And it's been hidden for centuries, not just by accident, but by design. Ancient traditions like the Gnostics, Hermetics, Vedic mystics, and even Tibetan Buddhists spoke about the soul contract, the blueprint each soul agrees to before incarnating. They knew, we don't come here to be comfortable. We come here to remember. Every major challenge you've faced, every moment of heartbreak, every time you felt lost, unseen, or broken. None of it was punishment. It was programming, sacred coding, designed to wake you up. The illusion is so convincing, you had to believe it was real. That's the only way the game works. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you didn't quite belong here? Like something was off about the way the world works? Like you were remembering something you've never been told? That's not a glitch. That's a signal. It's your soul knocking on the door, saying, "You're ready now. It's time." Let's go deeper. Before you came here, you saw your whole life. Yes, the entire script. You saw the key people you would meet. You chose your family, even the ones who hurt you. You picked your gifts. You chose your wounds. And you knew that forgetting was part of the deal. Why? Because remembering it, through the darkness, from scratch, is how the soul evolves. You didn't come here to suffer. You came here to alchemize suffering into light, to walk through fire and come out gold. The world may have told you that you're small, broken, or just another human trying to survive. But the truth is, you're a soul on a mission. You're not here to fit in. You're here to wake up. This is only the beginning. In the next part, we'll explore the exact mechanics of how the soul plans its journey, why certain challenges are preloaded into your path, and how your deepest wounds are also the gateways to your purpose. But first, ask yourself, what if everything you called a mistake was actually part of the plan? Imagine this: before time, before space, you, as pure consciousness, sat at the edge of incarnation, ready to step into the grand illusion known as life. But you didn't step blindly. You entered with precision. You chose themes, experiences, challenges, lessons, not as punishments, but as portals. Mike, think of your soul like a master programmer. You coded your own simulation, designed the variables, scripted the key moments, and placed certain players into your world. All to remember what you already knew. So why the amnesia? Because true power is not inherited, it's rediscovered. When you enter this realm, this earth school, you pass through what many traditions call the veil. It is a forgetting, a sacred forgetfulness. You forget your essence so that your awakening becomes real, not inherited, not told, earned. And in that amnesia, you wander. You make choices. You experience joy and pain. You love. You lose. You fall. And if you're lucky, you begin to question. That moment, when the questioning begins, is the beginning of the return, the beginning of remembering, not with your mind, with your soul. That gut feeling you've always had, that something more exists, that this world is not all there is the soul whispering through the cracks of your human identity. Let's get specific. There are usually 3 core elements your soul chooses before incarnation. 1. Your primary challenge, O. This is your wound, your thorn, your repeating pattern. O. It's not there to hurt you, it's there to activate you. 2. Your soul gifts. O. Talents, insights, sensitivities. O. They often feel natural but are ignored or undervalued in society. 3. Your higher purpose, O. Not a job, not a role. O. But a frequency you're here to express in the world. And guess what? They're all deeply connected. Your deepest pain often reveals your deepest power. Your greatest losses open the path to your soul gifts. Your confusion leads to clarity. And your resistance, that's the doorway. But none of this can be seen. If you only look with your eyes, you must look with your inner sight. You must feel with the soul's memory. That knowing without logic, that pull you can't explain. This is why some souls go through extreme contrast. Why do some people awaken through trauma? Why do some find purpose only after everything else falls apart? Because the soul learns most not when things go right, but when they break. Pain cracks the shell of illusion. Loss burns the false identity. Confusion dissolves ego. And what remains is truth. Raw, unfiltered, yours. This is the process of remembering. Not intellectual, not emotional. It's energetic. You don't figure out who you are, you resonate with it. And when you resonate with your soul's frequency, something wild happens. Reality bends. Doors open. Synchronicities multiply. Life feels guided, not forced, because now you're aligned. But alignment doesn't mean life gets easy. It means you stop resisting your truth. And you begin living from your inner core, not outer conditioning. And that is when purpose stops being a mystery and becomes a magnet. You don't search for it. You remember it. In part 3, we'll go even deeper. We'll explore how the system of forgetting is maintained, why society is built to keep you asleep, and how stepping into your purpose disrupts the matrix you were born into. The world is designed to make you forget. Your soul is designed to wake you up. And now, you're remembering. If you were born with a purpose, why does it feel like the world works so hard to make you forget it? Why is everything in society, school, media, culture, designed not to awaken, but to distract? It's not a coincidence. It's a system, a very old one. And its purpose is simple: to keep you asleep. Let's talk about the Matrix. Not the movie, the real one. The one you were born into. It starts early, when you're taught who you are. A name, a nationality, a religion, a gender, a belief system. Before you even understand the world, it gives you an identity. And then, it teaches you to defend that identity at all costs. Because as long as you think that's you, you'll never ask who you really are. The system needs you small. It needs you scared. It needs you chasing things that never fill the void. Money, validation, titles, approval. But here's the catch. None of those are wrong. They only become toxic when they replace your essence. When your soul becomes a background whisper behind your public mask. And what about pain? Why does the system teach you to run from it? Because pain wakes you up. Pain is the alarm clock of the soul. It pulls you out of the dream. It forces you to look deeper. And a society built on compliance can't have people waking up. So what do? They numb you with distraction, with busyness, with entertainment, with fear. But some people break through. Maybe you're one of them. Maybe you felt it already. That nagging sense that there's something more. That this life, this identity, this system isn't all there is. That's not depression. That's not confusion. That's awakening. Let's be clear. Awakening isn't comfortable. It shakes your life. It breaks illusions. It isolates you. And that's why most people avoid it. Because truth demands sacrifice. The sacrifice of the fake self. But the moment you choose truth over comfort, you start to reclaim your original blueprint. The reason you came. Let me ask you something real. What if you never lost your purpose? What if it was always there, buried under the noise? Not gone, just forgotten. Every time you followed the wrong path, every time you betrayed your intuition, every time you said yes when your soul screamed no, you weren't failing. You were gathering contrast. You were learning the texture of misalignment so you could recognize the vibration of your truth. And now, you're closer than you think. Every synchronicity, every pattern, every repeated lesson, they're not mistakes. They're breadcrumbs. Clues from your higher self, whispering, this way. Your soul isn't waiting for permission. It's waiting for your attention. And the more you turn inward, the more you remember. Remember the choice you made to come here, the contract you accepted, the lessons you designed, the truth you promised to live, no matter what. You didn't come here to be liked. You came here to be lit. Lit from within, by purpose, by power, by presence. In Part 4, we'll break open the concept of soul contracts, what they are, how they're created, and why even your greatest pain may be part of a larger agreement made in love, not punishment. And we'll explore how your purpose isn't just about what you do, but about what you become. You're not broken. You're being rebuilt. If this is waking something up in you, hit subscribe and tap the bell. Your soul already knows there's more coming. Let's talk about soul contracts. Because you didn't just land here randomly. You came with a map. Not a map of places, but of experiences, encounters, losses, mirrors, moments that would either break you or make you see yourself more clearly. A soul contract is not a rule. It's not rigid or enforced by some external force. It's a choice, made before incarnation, by you, with you, for you. Imagine this. Before birth, in a realm of total clarity, you met with guides, teachers, and soul allies. You looked at the life ahead, saw the full timeline, the highs, the lows, the trauma, the beauty, and said, yes, that's the one. Not because it would be easy, but because it would grow you. You chose your parents. Yes, even if they were absent, even if they were abusive, even if they never understood you, because their presence or their absence would trigger exactly what your soul needed to evolve. You chose your wounds, not to suffer, but to alchemize, to turn them into wisdom, to transmute pain into power. Let's be real. This idea offends the ego. It hurts to believe we would choose pain. But your soul doesn't see pain the way the human does. The soul sees opportunity in everything. That heartbreak was designed to open your heart. That betrayal, to teach you discernment. That loss, to anchor you into what truly matters. Each chapter, each crack, is perfectly placed to make space for the light. And here's the wild part. Many of the people who hurt you may have loved you most before this life, because souls that love you deeply are often the ones willing to play the villain so you can rise. It's not about blame. It's about blueprint. In the soul realm, roles are chosen with awareness. Your enemies may be your greatest teachers, and your deepest wounds may be acts of love in disguise. But what about free will? Doesn't this all mean life is scripted? No. Your contract is not a cage. It's a framework, a set of aligned probabilities, a path of resonance. But you always have a choice, to resist or to remember. And the more you remember, the more aligned your choices become. That's the paradox. The freer you become, the more clearly you walk the path you already chose. Let's go deeper. Some contracts are about healing lineage. You may be the first in your bloodline to awaken, to break cycles, to choose truth over trauma. You didn't come to repeat. You came to rewrite. That's purpose. And it's not always loud. Sometimes it looks like crying in silence. Sometimes it looks like saying no for the first time. Sometimes it's just staying alive when everything in you wanted to give up. But every act of alignment, no matter how small, ripples across timelines. Your soul's purpose isn't just about what you do in the world. It's about the frequency you hold, the truth you embody, the permission your presence gives others to wake up to. You don't have to change the world. You have to remember who you are, and the world changes around you. Chug. In Part 5, we'll move from the blueprint to the embodiment. From remembering your contract to living it. You'll learn how to align with your soul's signature, activate your unique energetic code, and begin walking as your true self. Now, not someday. Because you weren't just chosen, you chose this. And you're right on time. You've remembered. You've peeled back the illusion. You've seen the code behind the chaos. But now comes the real question. What will you do with that remembrance? Because purpose is not just awareness, it's alignment. Let's break the myth. Purpose isn't a job. It's not your Instagram bio. It's not a 5-year plan. It's a frequency. It's the unique energetic signature that you came here to anchor into the world. And when you align with it, the doing flows naturally from the being. So how do you live from that frequency? You start by listening. Not with your ears, with your energy. Your purpose isn't hiding. It's echoing through every nudge, every pull, every gut feeling you've ignored. That thing you always wanted to do but talked yourself out of? That's it. That weird obsession you can't explain? That's it. That soft, persistent voice saying there's more? That's it. Living your purpose isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming undeniably you. Unfiltered, unmasked, unapologetic. But be warned, as you rise into your purpose, everything that doesn't match your frequency will fall away. People, habits, beliefs, identities. This is the burning phase. It's not punishment, it's purification. Think of your soul like a tuning fork. When you vibrate at your truth, anything that can't harmonize with you will naturally fade. Not because you push it away, but because you're no longer available for the false. And yes, it gets lonely. Because most people are still performing. But your silence will become your strength. Your clarity will become your compass. And your energy will speak louder than any words. Here's the truth they don't teach. You don't find your purpose. You remember it, and then you walk as it, daily. You let it shape your choices. You let it guide your boundaries. You let it decide what deserves your energy. And when you do this long enough, your life becomes a reflection of your soul, not a reaction to your trauma. Want a real-world test? Ask yourself, where in my life am I betraying my truth to feel safe? That's the portal. That's the place your purpose is trying to enter. Not through grand plans, but through micro moments of alignment. Saying no, saying yes, pausing, trusting, letting go. This is how purpose lands. Softly, but permanently. And let's make this clear. You don't need to be perfect to live your purpose. You don't need a certification. You don't need a new identity. You just need to show up as you are, with the willingness to let your soul take the lead. That's the hardest part for most people, because it means surrendering control. It means trusting something deeper than logic. But when you do, the universe reorganizes around your authenticity. In part 6, the final part, we go beyond the individual. You'll see how your soul's purpose is interwoven with the collective awakening, how your light activates others, how remembering who you are helps others remember who they are. You're not here to fix the world, you're here to be fully you, and that is what shifts the world. So now you know, you came here on purpose, you chose this life, and you hold a truth inside you that this world has been starving for. But here's where it gets bigger. Your awakening is not just about you, because in the grand tapestry of existence, your thread matters. Every time you choose truth over fear, alignment over performance, soul over ego, you shift the field, you raise the frequency. You make it easier for others to wake up too, not by preaching, not by convincing, but by being real, being light, being whole. We live in a world full of noise, but one aligned presence can echo louder than 1,000 empty words. You're not here to fight darkness. You're here to shine in a way that makes darkness irrelevant. That is the quiet revolution. The world doesn't need more people trying to be perfect. It needs more people remembering they were never broken. Let's zoom out for a moment. What if the global chaos, the collapsing systems, the disillusionment are not signs of the end, but signs of a collective awakening? What if you're not alone in this? What if millions of souls, just like you, are remembering right now? Waking up, shedding layers, stepping into their purpose, one by one, lighting up the grid. That's not fantasy, it's physics. Consciousness is contagious, and every time one soul rises into their true frequency, it becomes easier for the next one. This is the real network. Not social, spiritual, invisible, energetic, unstoppable. You are a node in that network, a beacon. And your decision to live your soul's purpose is not small. It's not selfish. It's sacred. Because as you rise, you lift the field. As you heal, you offer permission. As you walk in truth, you become the evidence that it's possible, and that is enough. So where do you go from here? You don't need to know every step. You just need to trust the next one, and then the next, and then the next. Let purpose move through you, not as a task, but as a tone. Let your life become a love letter from your soul to the world. Let your presence remind others of their own, because the hidden truth about your soul's purpose is that it was never really hidden. It was always right here, waiting for you to say, I remember. And now that you do, you can never go back.